We are spending the next 4 nights here in Ninh Binh, often referred to as Ha Long Bay on land. During our 3 days of exploring this area, we're going to venture out on motorbike, bicycle and even boat to make sure we see everything this amazing place has to offer. So, to start off our time here, our homestay host has organised a half-day motorbike tour. We have made it to our first stop on this half-day motorbike tour. I'm not going to say it right, I'm going to try. Bích Động Pagoda.
What did she say?
This really cool arch behind me. It's a very Instagrammable spot according to the internet. But there's actually a pagoda deeper, well, a number of pagodas deeper in, so we're gonna go check them out.
So first experience on a motorbike, we did well. Definitely like a bit scary to begin with, but we got through. But some of the scenery we drove through was incredible. The rice fields with the big limestone mountains in the background, it was so incredibly beautiful. That alone was worth the trip. But now we've made it here and we're going to make our way up, hopefully to the upper pagoda.
The first pagoda itself isn't that like impressive visually, but if you look up and around it, I think that's what makes it so incredible. It's like nestled in limestone mountains, which I think is pretty cool. We're now making our way up to the middle pagoda, which is way up into the mountain. Alright, we're now making our way up to the third pagoda. You probably can't see me very well because we're kind of in the mountain now. It's a little bit spooky.
After walking through like the inside of the cave kind of thing, we made it up here to the upper pagoda, which I think is the smallest of the 3 actually. But there are kind of views out onto Tam Coc. Not really, it's kind of blocked by the trees. It's pretty beautiful up here. Now this is not the biggest pagoda complex here in Ninh Binh. There is another one which we may or may not get to during our time here, but we will see.
We've just been dropped off at Buffalo Cave. Now we're not going to go in, but instead we're going to hike around this big limestone mountain and meet our tour guides on the other side. We've just passed a very friendly buffalo. I love buffalo. We're walking along with the limestone mountain to one side and rice fields to the other. And in the distance I can see some goat as well. So I'm having a pretty good time.
Currently wandering through, I believe it is Tam Cốc area here in Ninh Binh, and the area is kind of known as the Ha Long Bay on land, as we probably mentioned in our intro to our video, and that is because of these massive limestone mountains? Limestone rocks? Don't know what to call them, that are kind of surrounding us here. As you can see, it very much looks like Ha Long Bay, except that there's no water at the bottom. It's pretty beautiful, especially with the green of the rice fields kind of popping out. It's no wonder this is becoming such a popular place for people to come and visit.
It's also reminding me a lot of Vang Vieng in Laos, and we actually made 2 videos there. I will link my favourite one up there. But that area also had some similar mountainscape. It was a very cool place.
So this is one of 2 options here in Ninh Binh. Well, the 2 main options to do like a rowing boat tour being Tam Coc, and the other one is Trang An, which we're going to do tomorrow. You can see it's very busy. It is a weekend as well, very popular. It's definitely kind of the more popular option, I'd say, but it looks pretty cool, and look at the surroundings. So a lot of the people steering the boats are doing it with their feet, or paddling I should say. And I think that's like a thing. Like I think you can even maybe ask to try to see if you can do it, but I don't think I'm that coordinated.
Let's go! So natural. Well guys, you got to let us know in the comments below, are the pictures that I just took of Stace on this rickety old bamboo bridge worth it?
We've now stopped at this little restaurant right near where we were taking photos, and we've picked up, of all things, some mochi ice cream. Now apparently this place has been doing it since 1958. They look pretty delicious. We're pretty hungry. We've been out most of the day and we've got some pretty incredible views to enjoy while we do. We have come to our final stop of our first day here in Ninh Bình, and it is Hoa Lư, which is the ancient capital of Vietnam, which is really cool. We're walking down, there's kind of like a market, there's some really beautiful lamps which we'll have to show you. Kind of like a pagoda or a temple in the middle, which is, because it's now getting into the evening, it's lit up, so it looks really, really cool.
Guys, we just had the cutest experience. This tiny little girl came up to us and asked us what our names were, and then she just took my hand and led me, like walked with me away from her mum, and I kept looking back at her mum being like, is this okay? And she was fine with it. Anyway, then her sister came up and she was really good in English, and I think they just wanted to talk to people in English and practice their English, and it was just such a cute experience.
Alright, smells good.
We have a special sausage recommendation from Stace's new friend. Thank you for the recommendation, Tom. Yeah? Better than like a regular sausage.
It's different. The seasoning is so good. We got a little bit of a kick. Kind of like human taste. Oh, it was a very cute experience.
Very cute.
Welcome to day 2 in Ninh Bình, and today we are on some bicycles and we're going to go drive around the town. We've got a few stops we're going to make today at some popular sites here in Ninh Bình, and we're very excited.
I think we're going to be making a lot of stops like this, just stopping and taking in the surroundings, because Ninh Binh is really pretty.
Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown.
We have arrived at Trang An boat station, where we're going to go for a bit of a cruise down the river. We bought our tickets, they were 250,000 dong each, and now there are 3 different routes you can choose from that have slightly different stops. We're going to go with Route 3 because we've seen a few people do Route 3 and it looks pretty cool, so we're very excited to get in. I think we will be seated with 2 other people. It is 4 per boat. If you do want the whole boat to yourself, you have to pay for all 4 spots. Guys, it's so stressful picking what route because I'm sure they're all equally beautiful, but it's actually, I think, a 3 or 3.5 hour journey in the boat, so you can't really do them all. It would be like
3.5 hours.
I think when you do it at Tam Coc, it's about 2.5 hours. This one is longer, and I think a little bit cheaper as well, so big plus.
Okay, we've made it onto the boat just, and now we're off. Okay, we've come to a fork in the river, and some people are going to Route 2. We're going towards Route 1 and Route 3.
We've briefly hopped off the boat for 10 minutes to look at a temple, which is kind of the first stop on our route, but I'm really excited to get back in because I think the next stop is the really big cave, which is pretty much why we picked this route, so we're super excited for that. But there's also these giant fish here where we've gotten off. Some people are feeding them, which I don't know, but they're all hanging around here and they're so big.
Subscribe. Alright, we're back on the boat and we're about to go into Dock Cave. It's 1 kilometre long. Woo! Oh, not for the claustrophobic, and guess who's claustrophobic? Probably shouldn't have watched Thai Cave Rescue recently. That was a mistake. And duck. Stace eating her Oreos. We made it.
Route 3 also brings you through 2 other caves, which were both really awesome as well, but definitely didn't top that 1 kilometre experience.
Well, that was definitely like nothing we've ever done before, and I can definitely see why coming to Trang An is a must do when you're in or near Ninh Bình, because that was just unbelievable. Without a doubt, my favourite part of it was going through that 1 kilometre cave, and then as you come out, you're just surrounded by the big limestone mountains. It is oh, come on, man. I can very easily see, as I said before, why this region is often compared to Ha Long Bay, and it's taken me back to a few days before, and if you haven't seen that video, we'll link it up here. But for now, we're gonna hop on our bikes and hopefully find somewhere to get some lunch.
We have stopped for lunch here at a place called Mona Lisa. It's really close to where you do the hike to Hong Mua viewpoint. You can actually see it on the street. So we just popped in here. We had some pizza. It was very good. Some nice views. We actually might skip the viewpoint today. We are feeling so tired. We've got a big day planned tomorrow. So we're going to head back to our homestay for now, but we'll catch you tomorrow. Welcome to our third and final day here in Ninh Bình, and today we've just ridden over an hour on motorbikes, on the back of motorbikes, not driving them, to Cuc Phuong National Park, which is Vietnam's oldest national park and actually its biggest, I believe. So a lot to see and do here. We're heading to the Endangered Primate Center where they rehabilitate endangered monkeys and put them back into the wild, which will be really cool. But I mean, this was probably the #1 recommended thing to do by our guide. I think she really loves nature. So we're gonna wander around and see what else there is to do. But first, we've got masks because we're going to see some endangered monkeys. We're pretty much new monkeys as humans, so we've got to protect them. We just finished up at the Endangered Primate Center and that was really good. Our guide was so informative. He knew everything about all the different species and where they're from and what type of habitats they can be released into. So we learned a lot. We learned about how their aim is obviously to release the animals. We learned the main reasons why the animals end up here. A lot of it is illegal wildlife trade and hunting and things like that. It's really informative, really. Like, we thought we'd just be like walking through, but we had a guide and he told us so much, so that was awesome. But now we're gonna head into the actual forest and wander around for a little bit. We are well and truly in the national park now. We actually had to hop back on the motorbikes for another 18 kilometers to get to kind of the center of the park, and now we've gone for a bit of a walk. So our guide told us, I think she said it kind of takes about 2 hours if you do the whole loop. She suggested we don't do the whole loop and we just kind of turn around at some point. We didn't really understand where to turn around, but we'll make a decision. But it's so beautiful and quiet. We can just hear the birds and the animals. There's no one else on the trail near us at the moment. It's pretty beautiful. We can see why our guide recommended it so much.
Now, one of the last times we were hiking was actually back in Canada in a vastly different environment with huge differences in threats. So, for example, right now we're hiking and we can hear a few like branches breaking or leaves being stomped on. And if we're in Canada, I would be terrified because I would think we're about to get, you know, attacked by a bear or a cougar stalking us somewhere in the distance. Whereas here, I'm pretty confident in saying that worst case scenario, it's just like a crazy monkey. But if you'd like to see any of our Canada videos, I'll link our Canada playlist just up there in the corner. Having said all of that, this sign is making me wonder. Are there tigers in Vietnam?
I don't think so.
I didn't see any warning signs.
We'll be fine.
We have come to the cave of Prehistoric Man. It has evidence of life from 7,500 years ago on the walls. Pretty incredible. It's really, really dark. Stacey's got the flashlight in my face. It's really spooky, but it's so cool. That was so cool. You have to come to this cave if you're coming to this national park. I've never been in anything like that before. It's just, I don't know, eerie. I felt like there was presence there from 7,500 years ago. Maybe I'm just really hungry. But we are already off to our next destination.
We've now come to Long Lagoon where we're going to jump in another boat on recommendation of our guide. So this one was 100,000 per person and I'm excited.
It's a lot quieter than when we were at Trang An. We can't see a single other boat. It's just us on the water and just as pretty. Like, I don't know, Ninh Bing's kind of blowing us away. And our lovely boat captain has just told us that right behind me is where they filmed King Kong. You guys know I'm obsessed with PVN movies. That is so cool. It's like nature's Universal Studios and a lot cheaper to get into.
It's definitely a very different environment to where we did the Trang An boat tour, more kind of like wetlands type area. It's pretty cool and we still have not seen another boat, so it's very peaceful.
So quiet. So we just went through a cave that was like almost completely pitch black inside. No lights, just the daylight seeping through from the entrance to the cave, and silent. Now, I haven't heard or read anything about that online. I'm sure that it's there, but it's certainly not in like the top recommended places to go to in Ninh Bình. But that was crazy. Like, that was such a cool experience. It's not like Trang An where it was like boat after boat after boat in a line going through the cave, and even that was really cool. Like, that was a highlight for me. But there's something about going into a place that really feels untouched. Whew. That was really freaky. We loved our time in Ninh Bình and highly recommend a visit if you're traveling to Vietnam. If you enjoyed this video, please click that like button and leave us a comment below. We'd love to hear from you. And if you want to watch more, you can check out our Ha Long cruise video here on the left, or our experience at Mega Grand World in Hanoi on the right. See you in the next video. Whoop it!